Well, good morning, everybody. Here it is, a Saturday. I hope you're all excited about having a weekend, being on Saturday. Got lots of plans and doing stuff. But here I am making a video just for you. I'm always trying to think of you guys. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about the tilt of the earth. And in my opinion, you can't ever talk about the tilt without talking about the earth revolving about the sun. You're going to hear some flat earthers say that the revolution around the sun and the change in distance is what causes the seasons, and that's not correct. So you can tell them it's not correct because the seasons are not caused by the revolution around the sun. In fact, the sun is about 147 million years or million miles from the sun. At its closest, at its farthest, it's about 152 million miles. That's a difference between the furthest and the closest of 3%. So the difference between an oval and a circle is 3%. And I think that's very clear that it cannot be the Earth's revolution around the sun cannot cause anything because it's basically a circle. So let's put that behind us. Now we can talk about the tilt. The tilt of the Earth was caused by something that happened millions of years ago. Scientists think maybe it was hit by another planet, maybe the size of Mars, which created the moon. However, that was a long time ago, so it's speculation. But we're pretty sure that's what happened. So when that planet hit the Earth, it caused it to tilt. Now the tilt right now is 23.5 degrees. It differs, it changes over time to 22.5 degrees, give and take a little, and that's strictly just because it wobbles a little bit. That's nothing to worry about. I think everything in reality has some variation, if you want to call it. It's hardly ever likely that you would see perfect circles or perfect spheres or perfect anything. And that's just because we are in a real imperfect existence. So this 23.5 degrees, you notice, I thought it was kind of amazing. Maybe it's just coincidence, but the Tropic of Cancer, the Tropic of Capricorn are both at 23.5 degrees latitude. So that is caused by the tilt of the sun. Those Tropic Cancer, Tropic Capricorn are where the sun reaches its maximum in the northern hemisphere and then its maximum in the southern hemisphere, and it causes winter and summer in each hemisphere respectively. Now, those of you that live in the northern hemisphere seem to always think about the northern hemisphere and just ignore the southern hemisphere. However, things happen in the southern hemisphere just like they do in the northern hemisphere. This tilt also causes the stars to rotate at an angle. They are not at the equator going around like flat earthers would tell you. It is tilted, so if you look at the star trails, they will be at a tilted angle from the equator. They circle in the northern hemisphere. The star trails circle Polaris. Polaris is currently the North Pole star. Years and years and years ago, 26,000 years maybe, Thuban was the pole star. So the Egyptians, some people saw it as the pole star. So we have Polaris as the pole star, and the star trails are circling Polaris. In the southern hemisphere, the star trails circle Sigma Octantis, which is a constellation. They circle a star, but the star is so faint that you can barely see it. So it's usually just told as the Sigma Octantis constellation. These are different. The star Polaris points at your latitude. So whatever latitude you happen to be at, that's the angle that the Polaris will be in the sky from the horizon. And so you can find Polaris that way. If you set a camera out to take time pictures all night, you'll find that the stars circle around Polaris. That's one thing. And at the of course, in the southern hemisphere, it's exactly the same. The difference is that you see the stars rotate clockwise in the southern hemisphere, counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere, which is also the same as the winds, the ocean currents. We have so many things that are all related, that are related and follow the same paths that we see of the stars. We see that in the winds. We see that in the ocean currents. So there are a lot of things that all come together to prove that it's got to be a globe. If it was flat, there's a lot of stuff that has to come together that would be difficult. And so that's basically all I had for you today. I hope that you will think about the tilt of the Earth and the rotation of the star trails, and we'll talk some more next week. Have a good week.